Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to another trading session. It is a Monday morning. Not a Monday morning here in Portugal, but it's about 2:20 p.m. Yeah, I hope you had a great weekend. This weekend was marked with the bombarding of the Iran nuclear sites. So yeah, a lot tend to happen when things start to get dirty on a war basis. And yeah, it marked a big gap to the downside here on ES and on NQ as well. So as you can see here, this was a big gap to the downside. It was about, let's see, was about 60 handles, about 1% to the downside here on ES, and things can get a little bit hard to read whenever there's some kind of fundamentals that can drive price to wherever it wants. But yeah, let's just see where price can eventually go from here, and what can we expect on this Monday post Iran attack. It's not an Iran attack; it's an attack by the United States to Iran. So yeah, let's see. Looking at higher time frames on the weekly. Let's start with the weekly. You can see. Let me just clear things up a little bit. Yeah, you can see that previous week's low has already been taken with the drop, and so the sell side that was here below is already taken. So now we have this huge gap to the upside, and whenever we have a weekly gap like this, we can eventually expect it to be retested on two main levels. The 50%, which is somewhere here, and the 25%. So neither of them has been reached so far. So we can eventually expect price to come a little bit higher and reach for the 25%. On the daily, there's also a wick. So as you can see, all the sell side that was below here is already taken. So price reached already for 25% of the daily wick. We still have the 50% to reach for. So we can eventually keep climbing higher and take all the liquidity that is here above. But if we come to lower time frames, like the 1 hour, you can see that things are a bit different here. If we try to measure some AMD, you can clearly see that this is some kind of accumulation here. We have some kind of manipulation on London here. And if this was an AMD, we could eventually expect a drive lower as a distribution. So things are a bit mixed right now. Expect low probability setups for this Monday morning. You can eventually expect manual intervention as well as soon as we open at 9:30 on New York open. So at this point, I can see really price driving a little bit higher, taking out these highs here, eventually taking out that 50% of the weekly wick. But at the same time, it seems counterintuitive because usually London marks a manipulation on price, and this is quite a run here to the upside that can eventually mark that manipulation to the upside. So we have also 10 a.m. news, as you can see here, and some news at 9:45 as well. So the plan here for today's action is eventually not forcing anything, because price can eventually become a bit indecisive as soon as we enter 9:30. Yeah, just let me close the window because there's still construction out there. So yeah, in normal conditions, I would wait for 10 a.m. news to deliver, and eventually take something after 10 a.m. But since we are in a strange environment right now where the fundamentals have a big weight on price, yeah, we have to be very careful with what we want from the market and what we need to demand from the market. So keep that in mind. Things are not clear as far as this opening. So honestly, I will try to wait for 10 a.m. And if something clear happens at 10 a.m., if we already took some sell side or buy side, or if I can frame some kind of a manipulation or accumulation, I will take that distribution to the upside or to the downside. Otherwise, I think I will stay on the sidelines because I don't like to interact with the markets when something happens on a weekend. And if you look in history, and if you look on past events, they always happens. They always happen on a weekend. So if you think that's some kind of a coincidence, it isn't. It really isn't, because all these events usually happen when the markets are closed. So yeah, it seems to be made on purpose almost, right? So Mateus, welcome back. So I trade in the micro S&P. So as you can see here, the futures market is marked by different contracts. Every 3 months, the contracts roll over to another one. So you have to keep in mind that, as you can see here, if I open this here, you can see micro S&P. So on a forex market, you call it S&P 500, but on a futures market, you just call it ES. And ES has two types of markets. You have the normal ES, which is called just ES here with S&P, and then you have the micro ES. Micro stands for micro contract. So what I'm taking here, any contract that I'm taking here is a micro contract. It is a smaller contract, smaller size contract. It's some kind of leverage that you can you use on a forex market. So it's kind of a different. It is equivalent to a lower leverage on any type of market. So you always have the normal contracts and you have the micro contracts, and this is a micro contract here. So 9:30, 9:30 just opened. This is the 9:30 open. So let's see if we will have some type of manipulation to the downside. If this is a manipulation, or and we will seek higher prices from here, or if this is really the distribution or on the higher time frames, as you saw some minutes ago. Meanwhile, for those who like to trade on a fundamental basis, you can look for the oil prices, the gold prices as well. We can eventually expect higher prices on oil, since Iran just closed some of the ways that the oil is distributed to the world, and it is somewhere clear that the oil prices will eventually go higher from here as the war continues to escalate. So if you like to trade on a fundamental basis and take some swing positions, that could eventually be some type of a play that it is. so predictable. So so 9:30. Notice that we stopped right at the end walk at the opening of the this week, and we are now displacing to the downside right at 9:30. So whenever you have a one-sided move right at 9:30, it can eventually mark a Judas swing. A Judas swing is a swing movement that is some type of a manipulation to invite players to short the market, and eventually it can retrace higher, invert, and keep going higher. So keep that in mind. But since we have on a higher time frame, since we have framed some type of a distribution to the downside, it can eventually mark the first stage of the distribution as well. So far you will have to wait. We have some news driver at 9:45, some news driver as well at 10. So I'm not rushing into anything. I'm just waiting and observing the market and see what can we do from here, honestly. Yeah, if Mateusz, if you're using TradingView, if you're using TradingView, your futures contract on this type of market, it will have about 10 minutes of delay. I think that's really 10 minutes because you will have to buy the data that CME Group just sells for everyone. So if you open TradingView, and if you're using TradingView, and if you put MESU 25 on it, it will have a 10 minutes delay. To have it that data on real time, you have to purchase some kind of a pack of real data. It's not that much. I think it's about, I don't know, $5 to $6, I think. But yeah, you will have a delay on 10 minutes because all that, as I explained to you on the last time that we spoke, the CME group delivers data to everybody. So the data only comes from CME group, and yeah, TradingView has to purchase it. So you have really to pay for it. Otherwise, you will have a 10-minute delay on every data that you will try to search on your TradingView. So it seems like we have the Judas swing here. See, price just manipulated to the downside. On lower time frames, you can see that this is the accumulation. This is the manipulation here. And we will probably now have the distribution to the upside targeting London highs. So accumulation pre-9:30. At 9:30, it really came one-sided. So whenever you have a one-sided market right at 9:30, it is probably a manipulation. Yeah, that's what we have here. So we have the first presented fair value gap as well. Here down below. Where is it? So yeah, so far here down below on the manipulation leg, we have some kind of a BPR as well. So BPR stands for balanced price action. So yeah, right now, this was kind of clean here. Everything seems to be clean right now. Price is exiting to the upside from the NWAG. It kind of respected the 15-minute fair value gap. It's trying to get away from the bearish fair value gap as well on the 1 hour time frame. And yeah, seems like we will go higher and trying to reach for these relative equal highs here. Let me relative equal highs. So in order to frame something here, we should wait for some type of OT level to entry. So OT stands for optimal a trade entry, and the optimal trade entry should be around equilibrium and eventually 62%. Since we have a inverted fair value gap here, it was kind of, I will zoom in a little bit more. Since we have this one here, which was kind of inverted, I will take the 15-minute out from here. Makes no sense to be here. And yeah, we could eventually wait for price to do something like this. And here, somewhere here should be our entry. But yeah, since we are on a post-event market, it can really go straight to the upside and not giving us that OTE level. But if you look into NQ and ES, we now have some type of a SMT. NQ does not, it did not take this high yet. Seems like ES is a bit, stronger here. Mateus, I hope you understood what I explained to you. You will have to study a bit about the contracts, and because on forex you will have lots, and as you can see here on ES, on the futures market, you will have contracts, and one contract does not stand for one lot. So you will have to adapt your trading size to the lot. And on TradingView, you can, I think that you cannot simulate trading if you not purchase that pack, that CME data pack. So the logical entry here should be something like this. We could eventually try to be filled a little bit below. But yeah, since we are in a post-event environment, it can really not give us that entry, and eventually keep going higher or eventually come to the downside, taking out this breakout. And yeah, so price now trying to reach a little bit lower. And Q really tagged this area right now with this wick to the downside, while ES is not able to do it. Seems like ES is the stronger sister here. But look at what price action is doing here. See? Price action is kind of strange here. This was the 945 wick, the 945 news driver here. We still have a 10 AM news driver as well. And see, price is not prone to do that retrace. It will probably reach for those relative equal highs without giving us any chance to interact with it. Rules say that you should not chase price, because chasing price is something that usually traders do, but in the real world, it's like chasing or trying to get into a train while it's running. So you never know when the train will accelerate or if it will brake, and you will end up below it. So here on trading, it's the same thing. You should not try to engage with price when, or try to chase price when it's really not giving you that retrace that you are expecting or that you want to see. So far a nice read. I kind of anticipated this Judas swing here. I was not inclined to short here. I can see a lot of traders trying to short right at the open, since we were below and we were rejecting this 1 hour fair value gap, but this was just a Judas swing. It's a swing that you should not engage with, and that you should not eventually consider as a normal swing. And yeah, price is just delivering to the upside here. It will reach for those relative equal highs and will not give us that entry that we were expecting. So the first drawn liquidity here will be reached, and what can we eventually expect from price as soon as it hits this liquidity? Yeah, that's the hardest question to answer, because the main draw is hit, and price can eventually continue to the upside and can continue giving us higher prices. But we can eventually expect some kind of a retrace as well. If you look into the last the last swing low here, this is the last swing low from this price action. If you look into the last swing low and you take a measure of projection to the upside, you can clearly see that we have a seamless confluence minus 2.5 standard deviation with these relative equal highs. So it means a lot. It means that price will probably and is probably prone to go higher. But any long that you probably have taken here, or if you've taken any long somewhere here or even here, that longs should be closed for 80% at this level. It can reach higher and it can go higher, but you should secure 80% of your profits right at minus 2.5 standard deviation here. So you can see that price really respected these standard deviations here. See, minus 1.5. It never retraced down from minus 1.5. So we were expecting something lower eventually until minus 1, but it never gave us. So it is what it is. And as a trader, you have to embrace that you will not catch every setup, every move that you can anticipate. Otherwise, you would be chasing, and that's not the point to chase price. Because whenever you try to chase price, it can eventually give you a good headache, honestly. And now we are inside the macro. So 2 minutes inside the macro, we have this fair value gap here that is being respected. So for those who trade the silver bullet, as ICT taught, your entry should be here, and eventually reaching for that that low hanging fruit, which is the minus 2.5 standard deviation here. So for those who trade the silver bullet, this should be your setup here. Which is, in terms of risk to reward, it's acceptable. But you would have to have a very tight stop loss. So in Q already behind ES, it's close to what ES is doing. It has some more handles to the upside, and right now we already took relative equal highs here. So unfortunately, price did not retrace lower. It didn't deliver lower as we expected. But yeah, it is what it is, honestly. I prefer to have a clean read of price than to have a miserable entry and try to chase price. So now I'm curious to see, because we are inside a macro, we will have about 5 minutes to hit 10 a.m., which will deliver another news. And it can make price go a little bit higher. Price is still respecting bullish PD arrays. So everything that's bullish, price is still respecting. If I want to see higher prices, I want these PD arrays to be respected as well. NQ did not reach for this high or eventually this one here. So there's still some liquidity missing here on NQ. Let me just check the regular trading hours. Yeah, the regular trading hours just gave us a purge of this one. But as you can see, there's a lot of liquidity here below as well. So at this point, NQ left some some buy side liquidity behind here. So I'm expecting another run to the upside, honestly. We'll take this out. It didn't give us what we wanted, so makes no sense to be there. The direction was right. The read was right as well, but it didn't give us the retrace that we wanted. So So 1 minute before 10 a.m. news, it will probably run a bit higher with 10 a.m. news. Yeah, but so far price action has been clean. I was expecting some hard price action, but so far everything is clean here. So nice push to the upside. Nice push to the upside here. $10 a.m. news delivered higher. And yeah, and unfortunately, ES was not willing to give us that retrace that we wanted. Otherwise, this would be a clean run and a clean setup. Yeah, at this point, ES already took this high on regular trading hours. And we are still heading to the upside. At this point, we will have -4 standard deviation as our target here. So nice run here, honestly. It was kind of a shame that price really did not give us that retrace here that we were expecting. And Q delivered that retrace, but ES was kind of stronger and was not able to come lower. Price is still moving higher here. So at this point, there's nothing we can do. We can only observe. The real entry was somewhere here. I was expecting a lower retrace near OT levels, or eventually near. Price was somewhere here when I took the OT level. So yeah, it was far away from equilibrium, or eventually this inverted fair value gap here. And price is still running, as you can see. It will probably reach for -4 standard deviation. And as you can see as well, the projection here is top notch. It reached for -2.5. As soon as it reached for -2.5, it kind of retraced a little bit down and boom to the upside once again. So right now, -4 is in place. Nice delivery here. It's kind of a one-sided delivery with just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles to the upside, to the downside. Just let me look at the 15-minute here. Yeah, we have these relative equal highs here as well. Buy side liquidity that was left from the last price action on Friday. And at this point, we are just some handles away from -4. And yeah, -4 usually is the ultimate goal or target for price, but it can really extend, and it can really extend to -5 on on bullish days. It can eventually reach for -6. So -6 gives us some kind of a confluence with the NWOG, and -5 as well. But the typical expansion to the upside is -4. So there we go, -4 here. Yeah, price already reached for -4. So it was really nice expansion. Unfortunately, it didn't give us the retrace that we wanted. But honestly, I probably would not interact with it because I was waiting for 10 a.m. news delivery. So besides anything that could happen, I would probably engage only after 10 a.m. And at this point, anything that you can try to do here, it would be chasing price. So as you can see, price reached -4 standard deviation. It forms some kind of a fair value gap here, right at the top, right below -4 standard deviation. And now I would like to see if this really holds or if it kind of retraces down here. Since we are already closing the macro on days where price is kind of clean like it is today, we can eventually expect a move from macro to macro. So this move that started at 950, it can eventually go until 1050. So this is the next one, 1050. And it's starting to retrace a bit. So I guess we can frame this as a one leg only, and equilibrium should be around here. So it is acceptable for price to come here down below and then go back to the upside. If you want to frame it on a lower leg, as you can see, price came to the equilibrium of the last leg here, and it's reaching higher. So yeah, once again the read on price action was clear. I was not liking how price was delivering to the upside right on a pre-open market, but as soon as we hit 930, it kind of gave us that manipulation to the downside, the one-sided move. This was the Judas swing. After hitting some type of sell side liquidity here right at 830, it kind of reverted and inverted some PD arrays, and then it kind of distribute higher. The only thing that was missing here, just to give us the entry that we wanted, was the retrace. The retrace was not given by any means here. Yeah, it kind of gave us here, but yeah, it was not enough. It was not enough, not near OT levels, because at this point, in order to frame something here, you should have your stop loss right below here. So, and even if you took this move to -4 standard deviation, it would only give you 2.85. At this point, you would have to take out some partials, so you would never eventually have the 2.85. The risk to reward was not presented here, since you would have to have a large stop loss, at least here, probably, because price could eventually come here, retest the inverted fair value gap, and then boom to the upside. But yeah, it didn't happen. It is what it is. So the point here is not to chase anything. So as I told you, this can eventually be framed as a macro to macro move. It really started at 950. A little bit earlier here, but 950. It can eventually stretch to 1050, as you can see here. It would give us probably a touch near the NWOG. But at this point, entering somewhere here, it would be high risk. It would be a high risk trade because, yeah, price can eventually do something like this and continue its way to the upside. But it can eventually be here for some time, take out some sell side before, and then move to the upside. So you're not sure where to put your stop loss here. So let's see if we will have that macro to macro move. So far, no entries, no positions here. So far, just tape reading what's going on here. We kind of had a chance to enter here, but it was pre-news and pre-macro, so that was not the perfect timing. But it really gave us some kind of a nice delivery to the upside. Price just keeps going higher, expanding on a one-sided market here since the open. It already reached for -4 standard deviation. So now we will probably continue higher until 1050, or we start to retrace a little bit down because yeah, it's been a one-sided market, honestly. So as you can see here, bullish PD arrays have been have been respected so far, and this is what you want to see on a strong market. So yeah, for a bullish continuation, since everything that's bullish has been respected, you will see a bullish, so a continuation, a breaker continuation here. So this could eventually be another type of entry until the analog here. But since we are so much in a premium, and since there's a lot of some inefficiencies here below, I will not engage with it. So yeah, guys, if you're liking the way I'm explaining things and the way that I'm tape reading, yeah, just hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, just subscribe to the channel as well. I honestly try to be here every day, trying to interact with the markets, or at least tape read it. Sometimes there's no opportunity to interact with it, but at least I'm tape reading it and trying to explain you how price really moves. So if you like the way things are taught here on the channel, just yeah, just hit the like button and subscribe to the channel as well. It would be nice to grow this channel, because having more people here, it would be nice to start sharing some setups, start to share some knowledge as well, because as traders we are always learning. This is a continuous process of learning. So take into account that this is not a trade, this is just an idea. Price reaching for equilibrium of this leg here and trying to eventually get support here, inverting this fair value gap here. So as price is approaching 11 a.m., it can be a little bit tricky. So far, no SMTs at the top, but since we already reached for -4 standard deviation, it really can give us some lower retrace, or it can eventually be some kind of a manipulation to another move to the upside. So have that in mind. Yeah, Mateus, price is kind of one-sided. Um, it's not that easy to interact with markets when you have no retraces on price, when you have no opportunities. Um, but it's always better to let things run and do its own thing than to try to chase anything and yeah, and somehow enter in a drawdown phase. So as a trader, you have to embrace it. You have to embrace that you will not engage with every move of the market. That's impossible. Otherwise, you would have to be taking some unnecessary risks, and someday those risks will end up in losing accounts, in huge drawdowns, or whatever. This is a probability market, and yeah, sometimes you are in the right side of those probabilities, but yeah, there will be a day that those probabilities will invert on you, and yeah, you will get slapped by the markets. So every time you see a one-sided market like this, a market which is pushing higher, and you did not engage in the early stages of that push, yeah, just let it run. And there's always fish on the sea. So if you're not engaging today, there will be always tomorrow. So you don't have to engage every day. And if you see some traders who are posting their everyday trades, yeah, probably there will be a day when those trades will just slap them in the face, you know. Um, yeah, I've saw it already. I saw it many times already. So traders who engage in a market every day, they seem to need to trade every day and need to be present on every movement that the market is doing. Yeah, there is a time then that a huge drawdown will attack their accounts. Yeah, in terms of payouts, as you can see here, this is a combine, so this is a evaluations account, so I'm working to pass on these accounts to though I have 3 accounts here. This one is public and the other ones are private. But yes, I'm working to get those payouts, as you can see here. I guess it's a safer way to play the markets, because if you play the markets with your own money, you have to know what you're doing. Otherwise, um, you can get hurt with your own money. And as long as there's the opportunity to work with these prop firms and to not put your money in front, yeah, I think that's a good opportunity. I don't care if this is a simulation or if that's not real money or whatever. Um, I just care about the payment. I don't care about nothing else. So some people just say, "Oh, you're a prop firm trader. You don't trade with real funds or whatever." I don't care about that. I just I just care about the money that enters my bank account. Honestly, not. I don't care if the prop firm is not. Uh, these 50K are not real or are just fake, or you will never know. So it seems like Price is here trying to accumulate some more bids here. As you can see, OT levels are being respected, but the willingness to go higher seems not to be the same as it was here. Tea prices just accumulating here, not giving us any real action. So that's why I told you guys to not try to engage with price. And that's why I told you guys that I would not engage in price and not try to chase price until the end walk or whatever. Because yeah, we kind of reached for standard deviation. So this is a point where if you have a long, you should close it and not try to open any new position. Maybe you should eventually look for some type of a retrace down, but at the same time, retraces on higher markets are always tricky because they can work, they can eventually work, but usually those type of retraces are formed in two types, or there will be fast moves that are in a shape of a V shape, that are inverted in a V shape, or and you have to know where to take profits, because the market will not give you a second chance to take out that money, or it will be something just like this, will take a lot of time, and suddenly, boom, you will have no chance to get out of your position with the profit. So taking a retrace on a counter trend market, it's always risky. You will have to know where to take out your position. Otherwise, you will face some type of a hard time on the market. So we have the first inversion right here after taking -4 standard deviation. Another inversion happening right here. We have this low that price can eventually take, but there's no SMTs here on the top. Not on higher time frames as well. So I guess this is some kind of an accumulation that can eventually happen. And at 1050, right at the new macro, something will probably happen, and we will eventually retrace lower or continue to the upside. So I will wait for 1050 to see what price really wants to do, because right now it's just accumulating. It can give us some kind of a manipulation, eventually to the downside or to the upside. And then the next move will probably be the next expansion. Here, just like here at the open, as you can see, minutes before the open, price was kind of accumulating. This was an accumulation. Then as soon as we opened, price just took out the lows of the lows of the accumulation, manipulated to the downside, and as soon as we broke up to the upside, price just retest the accumulation zone, and boom, expanded higher. So this is the power of 3, or AMD. It's the same thing, whatever you can want to call it. But yeah, it's typical on days like this. If you search for them on a pre-market basis, you can see that price really accumulates minutes before the open. Then eventually it moves quite fast on one side, and it really moved quite fast and with haste to the downside. This is some kind of a manipulation, because it took sell side here, and as soon as it reverted to the upside, it just started to expand. So this is the AMD, or power of 3, whatever you want to call it. Just let me check the regular trading hours here. So yeah, this was enough here for price to move higher. This was some kind of a liquidity that I was looking into, but yeah, price just this was enough for ES to move up. And if you look here, it kind of has some confluence with 830 open as well. So prices never came down and was not able to close below 830 open. So 830 open acted as support as well. So at this point in Q, and ES just forms some type of an SMT here. SMTs on accumulation zones are always interesting to mark. But yeah, we have an SMT on the upside so as well, so I will not take this into account because it's a one minute time frame as well. So, but as you can see, price is retracing. But as I told you, yeah, this can be a slow retrace, taking a long time to the downside, because it's like a counter trend retrace. You can never know when price will eventually seek higher and shoot to the upside. Yeah, just let me see for how long are we in the stream. So 1:30, 1 hour and 30 minutes. We are approaching 1050 macro as well. NQ pushing higher here, and yes, trying to follow its steps. Meanwhile, NQ already took this high here, while ES is still down here. So that's kind of suspicious for me. We have some kind of an SMT on higher time frames as the 15 minutes. So meanwhile, yes, trying to move to the downside here. We are approaching 1050 macro as well. So SMT on the highs. Seems like we are primed to move to the downside here. Yeah, we are entering the 1050 macro as well. So SMT on the highs, in between ES and NQ. We have this bearish fair value gap here. If we want to see lower prices, this one should be respected. If this was kind of a diagonal accumulation to move price to the upside, this one should be inverted. So yeah, it seems like yes is really primed to come a little bit lower. If you look into the 15-minute, it's digging inside a bullish fair value gap. We have this inefficiency and a flat candle here. So it can eventually try to get the liquidity below this flat candle right here. But as I told you before, this can be a slow grind to the downside without any speed, and taking trades without any speed can eventually be too time consuming and too frustrating. So as you can see here, inversion of this fair value gap, the inversion of this one as well. Bearish PD arrays being respected, but too many wicks here. See, this is the type of price action that I don't like on retraces like this. But yeah, so far a nice session. Let me just open the window once again. It's better like this. Yeah, but as I was saying, um, nice session so far. The tape reading was, once again, I guess, was kind of fine. Unfortunately, we did not interact with the market right here. It was pre-news and pre-macro as well. And right now, we could have interacted with this short, but yeah, I kind of anticipated that this short would be a high resistance and would not like to interact with it, honestly. I don't like to be in a high resistance environment where you have a candle to the upside followed by another candle to the downside, a candle to the upside followed by another candle to the downside. Yeah, that really annoys me, and it really tests my patience, and I'm not willing to spend my mental capital on a market that will probably move to where I want, but it will not deliver the way I want. So that's why. Retrace happening here. So how far can this retrace go? So we reach for -4. It can eventually come for -2.5. Or if we measure some type of OT level, it can reach for equilibrium. And equilibrium stands for -2. So right now we see some kind of speed. So far, how many handles that did it move from this? Yeah, 5 handles, just 5 handles. So you would be here for 10 minutes just to see 5 handles, a 5 handle delivery. It's not that bad, but the market can provide you better setups. So Curious to see what price will do as soon as it hits equilibrium here, or if it will feel short from equilibrium, because sometimes the targets on retraces cannot be met, and price just continues higher. See, this is what I anticipated, honestly. These are the types of environments that you face when you are trading a retrace on a counter trend market. So in 1 minute, it just one, two, three, four, five, six. It just six previous candles. So this is why you should not interact with slow grinding markets like this, because yeah, it can continue to the downside. I'm not saying that it will just rip higher, but most likely it will. But candles like this usually are um, what it takes to frighten you, and you will just move um, your stop to somewhere else, or yeah, you will just mess up. See, this is why I don't take these. It really, it's not worth it, honestly. So 1050, it will probably mark an inversion here, and price can eventually attack everybody who has been selling since 1020. So sell side has been taken here. We felt short for equilibrium, and it kind of starting to move higher. There we go. But yeah, looking into the 15 minutes in order to approach the market now, um, it can be really tricky because looking at the 15 minutes, if I put the 15 minutes here, yeah, you can see that price can eventually be here for some more time. It can do something like this and then take out this liquidity and move higher. So it can eventually do this as well. But yeah, these types of accumulations on the higher time frames can eventually take more time than we expect. So this is the 1050 to 11 macro. So this one I will just take out here. Yeah, price is really trying to get above these highs. We have relative equal highs here as well. So we can eventually retrace into this inverted fair value gap. And then just like this, we have an order block here and then move to the upside once again, eventually taking out these relative equal highs that are here left behind. Price is still pushing to the upside here. Move lower, retracing into the fair value gap, the bearish one, the inverted one, still inside a macro, but almost ending this macro. So this could eventually be the entry, reaching for new highs or eventually these ones right here. So this could eventually be another framing position, but yeah, I would like to see some kind of a lower retrace and not just this. And well, guys, we are approaching the 2 hour mark on the stream. I'm just curious to see if price really comes back to equilibrium or not, and then I will eventually close the stream as well and see if there's anything else to do. So deeper retrace here, leaving some relative equal highs below, above, I mean. Let's see if we will have some kind of reach for equilibrium here. That would be nice to see if price comes back to this state of equilibrium. But as I mentioned, price can take a long time here before it will head to the upside. Once again, it will probably happen on New York PM session. A nice reaction here from this inverted fair value gap. See, once again we had some type of a consolidation here or accumulation. So accumulation here, we had some type of a manipulation to the downside. And now we can eventually expect a move to the upside on an expansion basis or distribution basis. So this is some type of a AMD once again. Price is not giving us lower retraces, so it means that it can eventually be prone and primed to move higher without any hesitation. And yeah, this might be left open here. So at this point, this could eventually be another entry on a continuation breaker that was formed here. But since it's 11 already and we are right at the end of the stream, I will not take this position because it can happen that price will go eventually a little bit lower as well. Notice that price is already outside the macro too. So outside the macro, prior to lunch hour, so the timing is not ideal, but it could eventually work. As you can see here, price came from -4 standard deviation to -2.5. So this was an acceptable retrace. It could have been lower. But yeah, this probably was enough for price to move higher from here. As you can see, there's no strength right now because we are past 11, and past 11 can give us, yeah, usually past 11 is some type of a retrace time window, but I've been noticing that lately past 11 give us nice runs. But yeah, it's not typical on price action to do that. See, there's no movement, there's no displacement here, and there's nothing that we can eventually trust. And price can eventually be here for a while. So that's why I did not engage with it. I did not engage with this short either because I was expecting a move to the upside quite fast, because we were counter trending a retrace, and it really happened right here at 1050, the move to the upside. I would like to see continuation higher here, but price not giving me that displacement that it's needed uh, to activate the setup, honestly. So yeah, guys, I'm reaching the end of the stream here. I hope you've liked um, my today's tape read. Was not able to engage with this long here. my my own rule said that I should only engage after 10, so there was no opportunity to engage on anything prior not prior after 10. So yeah, it is what it is. Tomorrow there will be more action, and yeah, I hope to see you tomorrow as well, um at the same time, 9:50 to 9:20 New York local time. And I hope to get into some trades tomorrow and to make some profits as well. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for being there, and thank you very much for participating and to engage with me as well. Have a nice afternoon, and I hope to see you tomorrow as well. So thank you very much, guys. See you tomorrow. Thank you.